And now moving on. Now, in a big boost for the Indian Air Force, the Defence Procurement Board, headed by Defence Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh, has reportedly cleared a proposal to acquire 114 Rafale fighter jets from French manufacturer Dassault Aviation. The clearance by the Defence Procurement Board marks the first formal step towards finalizing the mega deal for which the Indian Air Force, which is expected to be India's largest ever defence acquisition. The media reports said the deal could be valued around 3.25 lakh crore. The proposal will now be placed before the Defence Acquisition Council, chaired by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The final approval will be required from the Cabinet Committee on Security, headed by PM Narendra Modi. The Defence Procurement Board's approval came just ahead of French President Emmanuel Macron's visit to India next month. If all other approvals and price negotiations happen on time, there is a possibility that India and France may sign the deal for 114 jets during President Macron's visit next month. Let's now take a look at major developments following the proposal and its background. Let me show you that, viewers. Now, let's talk about, this of course is the 114 Rafale jet proposal that we're discussing. The approval is granted. The Defence Procurement Board of India has cleared the proposal to acquire 114 Rafale fighter jets. So the approval is granted, and now let's go on to the next step, which is a step in the procurement process. Now, the nod from DPB is not the final contract, but an important step. The deal value, let's talk about how much it's estimated at. Reported cost of this acquisition is around 3.25 lakh crore, making it one of India's largest ever defence purchases. Government-to-government deal. The jets will be procured under an intergovernmental agreement between India and France. Manufacturing and Make in India. About 18 jets may be delivered in fly-away condition initially. Rest are planned to be built in India with up to 60 to 80% indigenous manufacturing. Now let's talk about the production infrastructure. India's Dassault Reliance Aerospace Limited and other Indian firms like Tata, Mahindra are likely to be involved in local production. So that is, of course, the production infrastructure. And now let's move on to the delivery timeline. If signed soon, deliveries of the first batch flyaway jets could start by around 2030. Now, reasons for the purchase, viewers, let me explain that to you. Now, the Indian Air Force currently has only 36 Rafale jets in service. Overall fighter squadron strength has fallen from 42 sanctioned to 29 active squadrons due to retirements of older jets. Let's talk about the strategic context. The move is aimed at enhancing air combat capabilities to address potential threats on multiple fronts like China, Pakistan, and other nations. That is the strategic context. Let's talk about the bilateral timing. The DPP's approval comes shortly before French President Emmanuel Macron's visit to India. So that is the strategic planning, the strategic timing, of when this really is happening. Joining me now is Group Captain Dr. M.J. Augustine Vinod, former Indian Air Force officer, and he's also a fighter jet pilot of MiG-21. I want to begin by welcoming you, and of course the first question to you really is that, this is being described as India's largest ever defence acquisition. how transformational is the induction of 114 Rafales for the Indian Air Force?
Absolutely. In fact, what is important for us to understand is a couple of things. One is it is going to be a made in India affair, and secondly, it is going to be, like you correctly said, a lot of Indian companies will be involved, and thirdly, it is going to give a great boost to our Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, push that government is doing. So in all angles, it is going to be a wonderful, wonderful news for us. Over to you.
All right. Group Captain, this deal is valued at 3.25 lakh crore. Now, from an operational standpoint, is the cost justified?
That's a very good question. In fact, the opposition is also asking the same question. I would say it is justified for two reasons. A, maximum is going to be made here. Therefore, there is likelihood of technology transfer, which will help us in multiple other projects to come. And secondly, a lot of money will be utilized within the country. So it is not going to go outside the country. So in those two angles, to look at it, it is going to be a great news for me. I mean, at least that's my personal opinion.
Group Captain Vinod, pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for joining me on the broadcast. And now moving on. Now, United States